Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome again to another Lazy Show where we teach you AutoCAD in a way that it's more productive so you can stop wasting your time. As always, we're going to start reading some of your comments first. Hopefully, you are doing great. There are people already commenting on the chat. That's awesome. We're going to create something awesome today, guys, to hopefully save you some time working in AutoCAD, right? So let me jump to the chat right away. We have Faizan on the chat. Hi, Faizan. Hopefully you are doing great, my friend. Happy to have you here. Kumar is also on the chat. Says, good morning, sir. Hey, Kumar. Hope you're doing good, my friend. Martin is on the chat. Hi, all, says Martin. Hey, Martin. Happy to have you here also, as always, as each week. Our friend Tuan is on the chat, says hi. Hey Tuan, I think you are new to the live streams, but if that's the case, welcome aboard. We are here each Sunday at 10 a.m. for those folks that are new to these live streams, to the Lazy Show. So yeah, you can find us here each Sunday. Faison says, good morning, and it's 7 p.m. here. Whoa, what is that? Where are you, Faison? For people who don't know, I am right now in Pennsylvania in the United States. So, and right now it's 10 a.m. Yeah, so Faison says it's 7 p.m. right there. Whoa. Rachel says, afternoon. Hey, Rachel, how are you, my friend? Hope you're doing great. I know you are in England, I believe, right? Yeah, in England. So that's afternoon right there. Paysan says, why doesn't it show notification as Lazy is live? My YouTube saying you have uploaded a video. I thought you had stopped live streams. Yeah, so that's a good question, Faisan. Maybe I can help you guys. Maybe I can show you really quick how you can do that. Let's see. Let me jump to my screen. Let's see. Entire screen. Share. All right, great. So yeah, the reason why some of you might not be receiving a notification when we go live, right, or when we upload a new video, is because you might not have your bell notification. So yeah, so let's see if I can. I'm gonna put this right here because I'm gonna try to log in with my other account. All right. Let's see. Okay. All right. So I'm right now logging with another account, as you can see. Let's see. You can see right here. I'm not using my Lazy Arquitecto account. So just to show you, right? So I'm gonna. This is in Spanish. That's funny. For people who don't know, Spanish is my first language, right? Because I'm originally from Peru in South America. So yeah, so let's see. All right, so I'm here with another account again, just to show you guys. So I'm gonna unsubscribe. Let's see. I'm subscribed already. I'm gonna unsubscribe just to show you. All right, so if you guys are new to the live streams, you can again subscribe to the channel right here. And what happened is, if you only do that, right, I can see that I'm subscribed now, but that doesn't mean that YouTube is gonna notify you when there is new content. There is an extra step, and the extra step is to hit this triangle over here, and you can click all. right now you can see it says personalized. So if I click all, then this is where you will be 100% sure that you will get notified when we release a new video, when we do a new live stream, and so on. All right, so hopefully that helped you, Feisan, and also some of you guys who are new and are not receiving notifications. So let's see over here. All right, we have music heart. Oh, so you're referring to the music, Feisan. Yeah, so there are many people that love the music. That's great. I like the music too. It's kind of a music from my country in Peru. So it's those beeps and sounds are from Peru. Let's see, Pakistan. Wow, that's far away from here, my friend. That's great that there are people joining from all over the world. I know Rachel is from England. Faisan now is Pakistan. I'm in the US, and I know other folks that are also from other countries. Oh, sorry, Rachel. Rachel said, "What? Scotland, if you don't mind." Sorry. I was getting confused with Martin. Martin is also on the chat, right? Martin, you're from England, right? Just let us know in the comments. Confirm that for us. So we have England, Scotland, Pakistan. I know we have folks from India, from all over the world. Tuan says Vietnam. Whoa, that's crazy. That's great. Tuan, that you are watching us from Vietnam. What time is over there? Martin says yes, England, London area. Wow, that's great, Martin. All right, guys. So as always, we're gonna today have a contest, guys. So I'm very excited for that contest, and we're gonna win a dynamic block, right? We're gonna create a awesome dynamic block today to kind of improve our workflow in AutoCAD, right? And make our lives easier, right? That's the mission of this channel, to make your life easier. So, and the contest, again, it's you're gonna win a dynamic block. Maybe it can be the one that we create today, or any of our dynamic blocks. Let's see if I can show you that. So let me see all of the dynamic blocks that we have created so far. So if I go to our website, the lazyarquitecto.com website, if you didn't know, we have a website. So if we go to AutoCAD blocks right here, you can see all of the blocks that we have available, and we're gonna let me sort it by block over here, and we're gonna give away one of these blocks, right? Anyone, title block, lighting block, door block, sink block, all of those, sofa dynamic block. We have so many, guys. North arrow, window. So that's the contest is gonna be to win one of these blocks, or you can pick today's block also. And I'm gonna give you the details by the end of this live stream, all right? So stay tuned for that. Feisan says, I have completed 25 kn. What's that? What do you mean kn, Feisan? I have completed order by learning from you. Oh, I have completed 25 online orders by learning from your videos. Wow, Feisan, that's great. For people who don't know, our friend Feisan, I believe, is providing services also on a website online, and he says that he's got 25 online orders already. That's awesome, Feisan, that this channel is kind of helping you, right, to maybe motivate you, right, to do all kind of stuffs. Like I know people already also wrote me or emailing me about that they got the AutoCAD certification, right, thanks to the channel. So that's great. Also, I know other folks that got into a job and say thank you, I learned so much from your channel, I got the job. So that's awesome, guys. I like to hear those stories always. Rachel says, nice one, Faison. Thanks, you are helping a lot. I'm glad, Faison. I think you are focusing from what you told me your story, just to put into context, right, to folks that are live right now with us. I think you're focusing on dynamic blocks, right, on your services online. Let's see. Faison says, that's great. How you get set up. Thanks, Rachel. All right, guys, we're gonna start the presentation for today, and as always, Faison says just dynamic blocks. So as always, you can ask your questions during the presentation, right? Because I like to make this show very interactive, right? That's why we do live streams instead of recorded videos. We also do recorded videos, but we always like to do these weekly live streams. Before I forget, guys, let's welcome our new let's welcome our new Patreon, guys. Charlotte Sanchez became a new patron last week, I believe, and so welcome aboard, Charlotte. Happy that you believe on what we do in our work, right? Which is try to make your life easier working with AutoCAD, right? That's the whole goal of this channel. And as always, you got into the benefits of being a Patreon, which is access to all of our dynamic blocks, to all of our drawings that we use in our YouTube channel, all of our macro codes, basically anything that we utilize to create our videos. I will post it for you, Charlotte, and for all of our patrons on our Patreon page, right? For folks that don't know what I'm talking about, I'm gonna go really quick to that page. Maybe you are interested, right? So let's see. Right here. So that's our Patreon page, guys. So we have so far 11 members. That's great. Here is where we again post everything. We created a live fixture, I think, a couple of weeks ago, or September 17. So that's the blog right there. It's for you, Charlotte, to simply click and download it and use it. If you have questions, you can, that's the drawing, the RCP that we used for another video. There are also the macro codes right there, so you can quickly select it and simply copy and create your awesome command. This was to quickly create a PDF, I believe. Guys, if you didn't know, now you know that we have a Patreon page that you can support our work. All right, let's jump now to, we have some comments still. Faison says, you like interruptions. That's strange. I mean, I could just do the presentation, take 10 to 15 minutes and just me talking and talking and talking. But what if you are not following along, right? Then that would be a waste of your time, because you might have a question during the presentation, and I don't want that, right? So that's what I'll let you know, though. Once I'm gonna stop. Like usually I stop in the middle of the presentation and say, hey, is there any questions so far, guys? And that's your time to write your question on the chat, and then I'll be able to read it. All right. I started from Fiverr. Martin says, Faison. So that's a website. Wish I could do that. You can do it, Martin. Like Faisan's story, right? I believe he started doing it once he found our channel, right? And we start creating so many blogs on the channel, and he might have the great idea, right? To, hey, why not? I learned all of these techniques to create dynamic blogs. Why not offer my service, right? So that was a good idea from Faisan. Let's see. Dynam says hello, Diamond. I don't know how do I pronounce. Maybe Anurag. Here we go. Hi, Anurag. So welcome aboard. I believe you are new to the live streams. We are here each Sunday at 10 a.m. So yeah, hope you're doing great, Anurag. Alright guys, I'm gonna start getting ready over here to start today's presentations. We're gonna have a contest by the end of this live stream, so stay tuned for that to win this dynamic blog that we're gonna create right now, or any of our dynamic blogs. We have more than 20 so far that we have created together here during our live streams, during our lazy show. Okay, so let me get ready over here. All right, let's see. Okay, so far we have created many door dynamic blocks in our channel, like this one over here that can flip like so, and can also stretch and have many visibilities. We also have created this other dynamic block that has a wipeout and also can quickly change to a door header visibility to quickly generate ceiling plans, right? Instead of trying to draw our headers one by one. So we also have created this other dynamic block that will help us insert our block while flipping it on the fly, right? So that was another great technique. So we have created so many dynamic blocks for doors. However, today we're gonna improve this door dynamic block in a way that we're gonna add a clearance dynamic function, right? So most of the time when we work on the profession, we have to kind of create a handicap clearances, right, based on the code of the city or whatever. So we're gonna do that today. Let's see how are we gonna implement that technique. Again, we're gonna we have the same door right there, but we're gonna implement this new technique, right? So let me clean some of these things a little bit because I don't want you to get confused. I'm just gonna simply, these are just polylines with an arrow, nothing fancy there, but I'm gonna simply copy this right here and simply erase the rest. All right, so I don't want you to get confused. All right, okay, so let's see. We have some comments on the chat. Let's see. Faisan says, congratulations on a new Patreon, Irving. Thank you, Faisan. Yeah, so we are growing slowly, but we are growing each and every week, right? I'm happy that each week we are getting either a new YouTube member or a new Patreon. So that's a motivation for us, or for me, to keep doing these live streams, right? Because that means simply that we're doing something good here, right? And we shouldn't stop. All right, so let's keep moving. Okay, guys, so let's see how are we gonna be able to do this, right? Hopefully we can do this together. All right, so again, nothing fancy right here. We have simply a polyline with an arrow, and let's see how we can implement this dynamic clearance to our dynamic door. So the way I'm gonna do it is I'm gonna first select our arrows right here, or our geometry, and I'm gonna simply use the Control Shift X on my keyboard. That's a shortcut to cut base, right? And I'm gonna cut it from my base point right here. So I'm gonna click, and then I can edit my block or go to the block editor by right clicking on it. And now I'm here inside the block editor environment. I'm gonna simply use the Control V shortcut on my keyboard and place it exactly on the base point, like so. Again, all of these different dynamic doors, we already created it in the channel, right? So we don't have to waste time again showing you how to create these doors because we already did that. So, but we want to improve this, right? We want to keep making our lives easier, guys. And let's see how we can do this. All right. So in order to be able to generate our clearances with the right dimensions, I already got a PDF right here that I'm going to show you. Is this one right here, and it's basically some dimensions for our clearances, right? People who work in architecture might already be familiar with this, but if you don't work into the architecture field, that's not a problem. This technique can be implemented for many different purposes, right? So you might be an electrician. If you learn this technique, it's gonna save you so much time. You might be, a civil engineer. Doesn't matter, as long as you learn how the concept of this technique with dynamic blocks, you're gonna be able to implement it in whatever block that you have, right? So, but for this example, I'm gonna use again accessible clearances for doors, because if you didn't know, I'm into the architecture field, right? Okay, so this chart or this illustration is gonna help us for the dimensions. So let me put it on the side. All right, and let's keep moving. So now what we have so far here, and I'm gonna focus on this top area first, right? And what we have right here is this condition right here, front approach condition, and that's 60 inches on this side and 18 inches on the pool side over here. All right, so just remember those two numbers because that's what we're gonna use. All right, so we already have 60, but I'm just gonna make sure really quick that we do have. So here we go, 60 inches or 5 feet, and over here on this other side we should have 18 inches. Let me see, 18, and that's what we have. So far we're good, right? The arrow is very important also. That's the direction of how people are accessing this door. So the arrow, again, just let's double check. That's correct. It's going towards this side, the front approach. So it's pointing to our door. Let's see, our arrow right here is pointing to our door. Great. So one of the first steps is to start adding some parameters and actions, right, to make this block more helpful. And the first that I'm going to add is the linear parameter. All right, so I'm going to add the linear parameter following the instructions on the command line, and I'm going to click right here on this base point like so. Oops, right there. And my second point would be right about here, and finally like so. Right, so first of all, I'm gonna name this correctly. So because if we don't do that, we're gonna start getting confused once we start adding more parameters, more actions, more informations. So I'm gonna go to my property palette right over here and simply rename this. I can rename this something like maybe pool depth or something like that. So let me go over here, and so I'm gonna call this again pool depth. Again, that's all up to you, but that's how I'm gonna call it, right? Pool depth. And Now let's we're not gonna need any of these grips that we're seeing. We have two so far, one here and another one over here. I'm gonna simply go ahead and say 0 right here from the number of grips on my properties, and now we have an exclamation mark. This exclamation mark, for people who are familiar with dynamic blocks, simply means that there is something missing, right, for this parameter to work correctly. And the thing that is missing is an action. So let's go ahead and add an action right here from the authoring palette. If you're not seeing it, it's also in your ribbon authoring palette. So let's add the action stretch, because we want this clearance rectangle or box to quickly increase or decrease in size, right? So we're gonna use that, the stretch again. So stretch action following instructions says select parameter. So let's select the parameter that we just added it. Now we need to specify a point, a parameter point, and I want it to be right here, this one, like so. Now it is asking to a corner of stretch, and would be this corner like so, and the objects would be all of these, of course. All right, I'm gonna press enter, and here we go. We got rid of the exclamation, the yellow exclamation mark, so that means this parameter is ready. Now let's go back to our PDF illustration just to make sure how are we doing. All right, so we have this side over here. Now we also see that what's gonna change is this pull side, the 18 inches. You can see we might have 36 inches on another condition, and so on. So let's see over here, we might have 42 inches also. So let's see how we're gonna do that, guys. Okay, so in order to be able to make this dynamic clearance work, let's add another parameter. In this case, the linear parameter again, right? And the way we're gonna add this is by selecting right here on the block, and then all the way right here, and let's move it up like so. Okay, so that's again to in this case play with the pull width, right, of the clearance. So I'm gonna simply select that and applying the same steps that we previously did, right, for the pull depth. What we did, guys, was simply change the number of grips to 0, because we don't want to control this clearance with the grips. We want to be able to control this with a table that it's quicker and easier and more efficient. And we're gonna see that in a moment. So let's rename it. That's the second step that we did. So let's go over here and say something like pull width, right? That's all up to you. Again, this is a way to don't get confused later on. All right, again, there's an exclamation mark. Let's add an action, and the action is gonna be the stretch action. Let's select our parameter. Let's select now our starting point. I wanted it to be right about here, and then says also specify the corner of a stretch. I want it to be right about here, like so. And my objects to be stretched, I want it to be all of these objects like so, and of course press enter. All right, so we did the same steps. I think there were 3 steps to add the pull depth and the pull width. Nothing different, right? We simply repeated the steps. So let's see what's next now. How can we control these parameters, right? How can we do that? So the way we're gonna do it is adding a table again, but if we go, before we add the table, if we go right here on our PDF illustration, we can also see that not only the width and length of our clearance will change, but also the arrow. If you can see right here, this arrow is pointing towards the door, but in this other condition on the pool side is changing directions. This one is the same. So we need to also add another parameter in action to kind of handle this situation for the arrow. So let's see how we can do that, guys. All right. So that's the arrow right here. And the way we're going to do it is, again, we need a way to rotate this arrow, right? And the way we're going to do it is, first, it's always a parameter, right? Most of the time, 99% of the time, we're going to start with a parameter. And if we go right here, there is a rotation parameter that we can use. Following the instructions, I can select my base point right here in the middle of the arrow, and then again specify radius. I'm going to simply click around here, and I'm going to press 0 for the angle. All right, so the same thing, there is an exclamation mark, so that means that we can go and add an action. And there is here another rotate action, right, that we can utilize. So let's do that, and let's select our parameter. In this case, this rotation parameter. Let's select the objects. The objects, of course, would be our arrow, right? And let's press enter. Here we go, guys. We added a rotation to this arrow right here. And now what we can start doing is we can start implementing a table, right? Nothing too complex. What we did so far, we added a linear parameter and a stretch action. Over here, the same steps, and then a rotation. Now, how can we control all of these three parameters in action in one single location or in one single way? The way we're gonna do it is, guys, adding a parameter again, and the parameter that I like to introduce you is this one called lookup. So let's use the lookup parameter, and following the instructions on the command line, it says specify parameter location. So nothing different, right? It's the same instructions that we previously had when we added the parameter, the linear parameter, the rotation parameter. Now here we're using the lookup parameter, but the instructions are very, very similar. So you shouldn't be afraid of start utilizing all of these parameters. So I'm gonna select my specify my location. So again, doesn't matter. I'm gonna place it very close to my arrow. I'm gonna place it right in the middle, like so. All right. So now the same problem, guys. We have an exclamation mark, and we know that's not something good. So let's go to the actions and add a lookup right here. There is also a lookup action. So let's add that lookup action like so. And let me go ahead and now, following the instructions, select the parameter, right? So I'm gonna simply select this parameter like so, and then sorry, I was selecting, guys, the rotation parameter, so be careful with that. What we need to select is the lookup parameter, right? So it's right here. Let's select that, and boom, immediately we have right here a nice table right here that we can quickly customize in order to control, guys, all of these different three parameters right here. This one, the pool depth, the pool width, and then the rotation for our arrow. So let's see how we can do that. Right, so I'm gonna go right here, and so the first thing, now, do you have a question so far, guys? Let me know on the chat. I'm gonna stop right here on the middle of our presentation. just to check how are you following up with the presentation. Again, if you have questions so far, just put it on the chat before we proceed with the second half of the presentation. Let's see over here. Our friend Lohani is on the chat, says, hello, respected sir, how are you? Hey Lohani, happy to have you here. Hopefully you are doing great, my friend. Lohani says, can you take ZWCAD software? I never tried that software, Lohani, but maybe, who knows, in the future, right? I might maybe do a video comparison, maybe AutoCAD versus all of the rest or something like that, and maybe I can try to compare this program that you are suggesting with AutoCAD and maybe others also. A good idea, Lohani. All right, so I see that there is no question so far, so that means we kind of explain it correctly, all of these steps, and let's keep moving, guys. All right, so let's see over here. Okay, so the next steps we're gonna start adding is adding properties, and I'm gonna simply click right here on the add property option. Now we have many different properties just because I was testing all of these parameters and blocks before, but you're gonna have only the ones that we just created, right? So the what's it, guys? The one that we created was the pool depth, remember, is right here, pool depth. So let's try to find that. Is right here, pool depth. So let's simply add that like so, and you can see that the pool depth was added. Now let's add the next parameters, right? Let's go here and add the parameter, and this would be the pool width, right? The one that we created right here. So let's click that and add. So we are adding again these parameter properties to our lookup table, and the last one that we created, guys, was for the rotation, right? I don't remember if we named that one. Yes, we didn't name it, guys. So I'm gonna stop right here then, and simply click OK. Because we didn't name our rotation angle, so it says angle 1. So the way that I'm going to name it is, again, selecting the parameter, the rotation, and I'm going to go, and instead of angle 1, I can say something such as maybe rotation or arrow rotation, right? That's all up to you. This is a way to simply don't get confused, right? So let's try again, guys. Now we have the lookup parameter right here, and since we kind of stopped using it, the way we can access it again is simply right clicking on it and say display lookup table. So here we go. That's the table that we were working on, and let's add the last parameter, which was the arrow rotation right here, guys. So I'm gonna click OK, and here we go. So what I like to do here is you can of course move this as you wish for the location and change as you need it, right? I like to have the pool width first and then the pool depth. That's all up to you, but you know, I want you to know that you can click and drag it and rearrange it as you need. Now let's start adding some information right here, and the first that I'm gonna add is for this option right here, the front approach condition right here. All right, so because that's the arrow that we have pointing to our door, so we need 60 inches for our depth, and we need 18 inches for the width. So let's go and add those numbers. So pool width 18 inches, press enter, pull depth 60 inches and press enter. Now for the arrow rotation, guys, right now we can see that our arrow is showing correctly, pointing to our door, towards the door. So then that means the rotation would be 0, right? Because we don't want to change that rotation. Okay, so let's see now how we can add the next configuration. Let's go back to our PDF right here, and the next configuration, I wanted to do it for this condition right here. Right, so it's again 60 inches over here, but on the pull side is 36 inches instead of 18. And also we can see that the arrow orientation changed. So let's do this condition, guys. So let's go over here. Again, 36, press enter. The pull side would be the same, 60 inches, right? And the rotation will change, guys. So for the rotation angle, we wanted to rotate it. Right now, again, it's showing down, but we wanted to rotate it according to our illustration in this direction. So I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees and press enter. And let's do one more condition, guys. These are again the same steps, but I want you to give you enough complete example so you can finish the rest of the other conditions, right? Let's do one more condition, which is this one, the pull side. So the only difference, the arrows are going to be the same as this. The pull side is going to have 42 inches, so that's changed, and this would also change 54, right? Remember those numbers. So let's go ahead and add the third condition. On the pull side, 42 inches. On the pull depth would be 54 in this case, and for the rotation would be the same as this previous one, so that's 90. Now, the final step here, guys, is how are we gonna able to recognize which configuration we are utilizing, right? Well, that's why there is an option right here to add a name, and the name is gonna be simply the same as this illustration, right? This is the first name, that's the other name, and we have A and B conditions where it's very different. So let's do that really quick. So for the first one, again, let's call this front approach, right? Front approach, and this would be the pull side, guys. Pull side. The next one would be the hinge approach, right? That's according to our chart. So nothing that we are reinventing the wheel here, guys. We're just simply following the standard chart, right? So people who utilize this block can quickly understand their condition, right? We don't want to like dramatically change the name right here. So let's see, this will be pull side, and this will be the A condition, because the other one is kind of the same. I can simply copy this and paste it like so, but this would be the V condition, where instead of 36 we will have I believe was 42. Yeah. All right, so let's quickly test what we have so far, guys. All right, again, I gave you 3 examples. We have so many different conditions here, but I believe with these 3 conditions that we are doing, that's more than enough for you to follow along and simply finish this up. So let's test it so far. Let's click OK, right? And let's see what we have so far. Go to the test block option, and let's see what we have, guys. So we will have a brand new visibility, kind of a visibility grip right here. So let's select that right now. and let's go and change to the approach bullseye 8, and boom, you can see immediately the changes. The clearance increased in this side. My arrow also rotated. And then if we go to the next, which was the hinge approach bullseye V, we will see also a change on the size over here, but our arrow is the same. So let's go and double check that and make sure that that's correctly. Again, oops, let's see over here. So the condition for these guys is hinge approach bullseye B. Let's go right here, and just to make sure, this is the condition B, 42 inches and 54. The arrow is in this direction, so let's double check that. So 42 inches. Oops. Let's go right here and say 42. And here we go, guys. That's great, 42. And we should have 54 inches on this side. So 54. Awesome, guys. The arrow is pointing the correct direction also. Now, we still have an issue right here, guys, because we don't want to confuse the people who are using this block. We don't want to give them this option to manually rotate our arrow. It's gonna mess up our block, and we don't want that. So what I'm gonna do is simply change this to not show. And the way I'm gonna do it is go and close the block editor and go, of course, to our block. And once we select our rotation parameter, there is an option right here for the number of grips, and let's change that to 0. It's kind of the same idea for all the parameters, guys. Remember, we changed the number of grips for this parameter also. It's the same thing. So we hide it, and let's do a quick test. And we will be able to now we cannot see that grip, which is great, right? So again, hinge size and hinge pull size V, and here we go. So now that we are good with it, let's close it. And again, you will apply the same steps, nothing really different, to complete all of these other configurations, right? And the same for the bottom over here. Right, so I'm gonna close that block and save the changes because we already have that block right here. Let me show you guys the final door right here. It's right here, and with all of the configurations again for the clearances, this will be the final work. And again, we have all of the different approaches for the full size, for the pull size, and so on. Right, so let me now jump to the chat. What do you think about this dynamic block that we kind of utilize the VLOOKUP tables to control 3 different parameters from one single location? So let me know your thoughts. Let's jump to the chat and see what do you think so far. We're gonna have our contest also. You can win this dynamic block. You can win our other dynamic block. Again, this is the complete version. So yeah. So let's see what do you guys think so far. Do you guys think this is a technique that you would like to implement in your workflow, in your dynamic blocks? If you're an electrician, how are you planning to maybe simplify your life with the VLOOKUP parameters? If you are an architect, we already show an example how we can utilize this for door clearances. If you are a civil, you are Rachel, you're a civil designer, right? So do you have any ideas how are you planning to simplify your life with this technique? Let me know, guys, on the chat. And let's see over here. So I'm gonna go and read some of your comments. Let's see. Rachel says, let's see. Okay, Rachel says, Martin, do you have an email address? Person, a proposal? Oh, okay, you guys are talking to each other. That's great. That simply means that our community is stronger now, right? Because now you're not just interacting with me, but you are also guys interacting with each other, which is great. I'm glad that our community is doing that now. Let's see. Martin says, maybe Irving can send you my email address privately. Sure, I can do that, Martin, I believe. Yeah, sure. Martin, let's see. What do you guys think about this dynamic block that we created today? We're gonna have a contest also with a simple question. I just like to see how well you know the lazy Arquitecto. So it's gonna be a simple question to win this or any other dynamic block that we have so far. Let's see. Rachel says, I've used lookups, but in civil engineering. Great, Rachel. So how have you used, if you can give us an example, maybe that would be great. So people kind of can imagine how you are using it. Rachel says, 100% use it in traffic symbols, as there are hundreds, but when I do dynamic blocks, what a battle, as they keep updating each other. Yeah, I mean, Rachel, it's just, a matter of kind of understand how dynamic blocks work, right? Their behavior. You're saying sometimes I had friends or coworkers that had a terrible experience with dynamic blocks. Just to give you a quick example, one of my coworkers, after he copied, hundreds of dynamic door blocks, once he closed and reopened his drawings, all of his doors were rotated or flipped, all of them, because they had a rotation parameter, and the way they created this block, once he closed and reopened the drawing, all of his doors were a mess. They were rotated, and he had to manually fix them. So yeah, I understand you, Rachel. All right, guys, I think if there are no questions, we're gonna do our contest. So let's do that right now. And let's see. Again, the winner is gonna tell me which dynamic block you won, right? All right. So let's see. Let's go over here. Rachel says, I want to create a menu panel with those symbols like no entry, road works. Are you referring to the VLOOKUP option, Rachel? All right, guys. So we're gonna have our contest right now, and let's see what I want you to answer is Are you ready, guys? Are you ready for the contest? Okay. The question is I have to be a question related to the lazy architect. I want you to know me a little better, right? So let's see. Okay. All right, I think I'm ready. Rachel, so you have 2 kids. Rachel, hold on, man. I know you want to win a dynamic block, but You had to wait till I ask you something. You're trying to beat the system here. You're trying to cheat. All right. So the question is, what two Martin says two children. That was the question from our last week contest, guys. So don't try to cheat here. 5 minutes. It says I'm 5 minutes behind as interrupted. I don't know why, Martin. Maybe that's your internet connection, my friend. Maybe. Are you using Wi-Fi? If you're using Wi-Fi, try to use the routed or wired connection, right? That will help definitely. So, but anyway, okay. The question is simple. What year did the Lazy Arquitecto graduated? So you might already know this because I shared a post with the community with a picture of my graduation ceremony, right? So what year? No, it was very recently. So what year? Just put the year that myself or the Lazy Arquitecto graduated, right? For people who don't know, I graduated with a bachelor's in architecture. So it's right here. I don't think you're seeing it, but it's right here. So yeah, the first person who answered it correctly will win a dynamic block. Usually my dynamic blocks, I share it with our supporters, right, with our Patreons or our members, but this time I want you to win one of these dynamic blocks. Rachel says 1864? What do you mean, Rachel? Am I that old? I don't think so, right? I was born actually in 1989. So, and write that down, guys, because for our next contest, I might ask how old am I? So, so I just told you my year that I was born. So Martin says, Rachel, please bear in mind I'm in production, but I love to learn to help. Rachel says, 70, no way, that was Independence. Martin says, I like to allow Irving, I can use it in production for sure. Oh, you're talking about the dynamic block, Martin. Yeah, Martin, the concept is simple, right? And you can apply it to any situation, right? Again, you are in production, for sure you can implement the different sizes for different configurations, so you can control 3 different things from one location, like I was doing it. I was controlling the depth of my clearance, I was controlling the width of my clearance, and I was controlling the rotation of my arrow. So 3 different things, and you can control more than that if you want. 5, I don't know, with one thing, right? From one location. And Xiomara says 2023, and that is the correct answer, Xiomara. Congrats, you are the winner for a dynamic block, Xiomara. So I graduated it in May 2023, guys. I did a post. Well, come on, guys. Like, I thought you knew me more. Let's see, where is it? I'm gonna go and show that post. So for people who don't know, you can know more about the Lazy Arquitecto, right, from the community post right here. You just go to our channel, community post, and we post all kind of things here, quizzes, tests, everything, even personal stuff. And I'm sure there is, here you go, those are my kids, but I'm sure I did post it. Here we go. That's the graduation, guys, or one of the pictures, and many people commented. I thought you guys would be right here in the comments. Oh, come on, guys. Here we go. Xiomara is right here. So that's why Xiomara knows. But Rachel is not here. Martin is not here. That's why you guys didn't know. Anyway, so Xiomara, glad that you win this. And which dynamic block do you want? Just let me know if you can. Let me know which dynamic block do you want. You can pick any, or maybe you want the dynamic block from today's presentation. This is a door, Xiomara. So just let me know if you want this door or you want any of our other dynamic blocks. In the meantime, let's read a couple of comments before we wrap this up. Rachel says, no, wait, that was Independence. Martin says, I like... Oh, okay. Martin, I know, and we can discuss at the email stage. Xiomara says, thank you, sir. Xiomara, let me know if you want this door that we just created it today, or you want other blocks from our website. Let's see. We have so many right here. We have this north arrow, window, lighting, brick, air vent, sofa, brake line, two-leaf door, three-sink compartment, the sink, receptacles, slope percentages, dynamic lighting, title block, wall tag, window for plan, dynamic for another door, and so on. So Rachel says the elevation one is a good one. Oh yeah, so the window, yeah, that, here we go, that's the window right here. So this will equally divide the window, right? So you don't have to manually use the divide command, draw lines and so on. Guys, come on, you should simplify your lives, right? That's why you are here right now. So Xiomara says window. All right, great, Xiomara, good choice. And yeah, so I'm gonna email it to you. I think I already have your email. Yes, so I'm gonna email it to you. Let's see. Martin says no, not a problem. The text had to reply. All right, guys, so it was fun today. Hopefully you are gonna have a wonderful rest of the day. I'm gonna stop right here because I'm very hungry. I'm gonna go and have my breakfast, but as always, I'm gonna see you here next Sunday. All right, guys, and I'm gonna go ahead and say thank you to these folks right here, because these are folks that support my work, right? Thank you very much. And I'm gonna see you guys next week, Sunday. All right, have a great rest of the day, guys.